Welcome, everyone, to the Living Oneness Gathering. I am your host, Sue Dumais. It's an honor to be here once again with you, sharing this space, an intention to unify us in love for each other and our planet, to use this space as an opportunity for healing, to receive a good heart scrub, but also to shift consciousness from head to heart. We are moving into the phase of our evolution where heart consciousness is essential. It's become non-negotiable. That's where we're heading. And the more you camp out in the head and try and navigate life from there, the more challenging it's going to become. We are not meant to be head heavy beings. We've been programmed to do that for a long time, and we are no longer even capable of sustaining that anymore. We've figured it out, we've kind of navigated our way through it, but this shift in the energy and the global energies is not going to allow us to stay in the head for very much longer. So camping out in your head, hanging out in the left brain loop will become more and more challenging. You'll become more and more sensitive to the noise in the mind and the programming and any of the discordant thoughts or beliefs that are not in alignment with the knowing in your heart. You will feel more resistance. I talk about resistance being the gap between what your mind thinks and what your heart knows. Our thinking mind, our beliefs, our programming, all of that are going to become an anchor that you're dragging. And the more you drag it, the heavier it becomes. And the longer you drag it, the worse it feels in the body and emotionally, mentally, and spiritually and energetically. So it's a shift that all of us are already making, whether we realize it or not. And the more intentionally you make that conscious choice, the more you can align a little bit with more grace and ease. It's not always going to be absolutely easy, but it'll be easier than if you're resisting. So don't resist the resistance. Lean into the resistance. Recognize that your resistance is just pointing you to something that you need to heal, something that you need to reveal, something that you need to experience or shine light on. And or something, sometimes it's just an energy or emotion that needs to be processed. So resistance is not bad. It's actually a friend. It's a finger pointing you to something that you need to explore, something that is out of alignment or unbalanced that needs to be shifted. So when we approach resistance from that mindset, then we will feel empowered to be able to meet it and use it intentionally to shift whatever we need to shift, to heal whatever we're meant to heal, to reveal what we're meant to reveal, to heal. So when we are experiencing our own resistance, that can show up as fearful thoughts or anxiety or stress or emotions in the body that feel discordant. We can have stuff playing out in our minds. We can have old memories kind of looping back, a memory that just we can't resolve or we can't let go of. That's an indication that there's something there for you to look at. Now, the understanding doesn't always have to come at the level of the mind. Sometimes we need to process it more somatically, using the body, using the energy, using the emotional energy to be able to move through and clear the leftovers. But other times there is an active processing at the level of the mind just so that the mind can let go. So in these gatherings, my intention is always to provide just enough of an understanding for your mind to come along for the ride so that the mind doesn't resist. So it doesn't hold you back and act like that anchor, that history anchor that's keeping you in the past or keeping you stuck in energies that you're not meant to be camping out in anymore. And when we meet resistance with patience, with curiosity, with wonderment, it actually opens the mind to allow us to meet it from a place of being able to do something with it. If you resist your resistance, it'll persist. If you neglect your resistance, it'll grow. If you deny your resistance, it'll still be there, but it'll get stronger. Because the gap between what your mind thinks and your heart knows will grow. And the further away your mind is from your heart's knowing, the greater the resistance you will experience. Other parts of resistance can be clusters. That's where it's a little bit more challenging when there's a cluster of things. It's not just one thing that's affecting you. It's not just one belief or one experience or one leftover wound or trauma that needs witnessing and honoring. Sometimes it's a cluster of things. And it's in those clusters that it's a little bit more challenging to unravel them. But the more you sit with it, practicing deep presence, practicing curiosity and wonderment, really being and meeting the parts of you that need to be met, but doing so with compassion and empathy, meeting the emotions that you have inside of you, unexpressed or that are expressing themselves in the moment, just meeting them with tenderness, with patience, with compassion is sometimes enough to shift that energy. Energy has an innate intelligence and it wants to move, it wants to be in motion. Emotions are energy in motion. And the denser energies of emotions, so like anger and fear, are moving, but moving very slow and sluggish, and they feel a little bit stagnant. And sometimes they can get kind of wound up and twisted in together, and then they get a little stuck, but they're still trying to move. They'll still be vibrating on some level. There'll be still some movement on that macro microscopic level. So to meet the outer layer of that rat's nest and meet it with love and compassion and just be with that emotional layer allows the energy to move and shift. Sometimes it just needs a witness, and you are the best witness. There are times when you need another witness, someone from the outside that can hold space for you, that can witness you. And that's where your heart will guide you to a friend, to someone to support you, to a professional, a healer, or something else. If you follow your heart, if you follow and trust the guidance from within your heart, you'll be guided to everything you need in every moment that you need it, without exception. Everything you need will be provided and is provided when you are listening and following your heart. It's when we think we know better, or when we think we already know what we need, that we often get tripped up. And that can delay our healing, or that can delay our evolution. That can kind of cause a little bit of a feeling of a block or feeling stagnant or stuck. And I talked last week in the Living Oneness Gathering about feeling like being in limbo or in that blah, kind of in between state. These are all phases of healing. These are all phases of evolution. And when we can meet our body and our energy in that space and really honor the energy, that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, they're different frequencies. There are different experiences of energy. Some energies are more dense and contracted. Some energies are more expansive and light. But everything's energy. Even your body, your desk, your computer, your phone, all of it's energy. Even though it looks solid, it's energy. We are in an energetic creative container. That's what creation is all about, energy. So if we meet everything as energy, we just meet it with just this compassionate witness, then you can process your emotions. You can process leftover trauma with a little bit more ease and grace. And some layers are going to be really challenging, and some layers you need a compassionate witness other than your own witnessing. but our ability to heal trauma, wounds, even physical cuts on our skin, like our body's ability to heal is changing. What we used to need for healing, the length of time we needed for healing is changed. It used to be really long. What used to take, say, 10 sessions and 2 healers can take 1 instant. We are shifting in more to the state of being able to do quantum healing more and more, all of us, not just some of us. Some of us have been doing quantum healing work for a long time, but this is like everyone has access to this now. And that's where we're heading as a collective. It begins with awareness. It begins with quiet stillness sometimes, being present in this moment. It's more of a being in the doing. I was working with a client yesterday and I was talking about how we separate, a lot of people separate out their spirituality or their practice, energy practice, or whatever. They separate out an aspect of their life, their beingness. They separate it out from the doingness, or they separate their healing work from their physical job or their regular work or their family. Everything, I used to do that as well, but now everything is integrated. Every moment, every breath for me is a meditation. I'm in a meditative state. And that's an intention I hold, and that's a practice I've been doing. And that's a practice all of us can do. How can I be deeply present to what is right now in this moment? Even if I don't like what's happening, how can I be deeply present and aware? Questions you can ask are, where's my awareness right now? Is my awareness back to what happened yesterday or what I didn't do and what I'm judging myself for that? Is my awareness here and present, listening to my voice? Is your awareness right here now, hearing every word, present to every word, feeling the energy of the essence behind the words? Are you here just listening with your ears? Or are you here listening with your entire being and experiencing and receiving with your entire being? Because this container holds a lot of potential for healing, for insights, for guidance, for transmuting energy, for remembering, for shifting out of fear and into love. And some of what I say and some of what I offer might actually bump up against your leftovers. There might be part of you at some point, I'm sure, along the way that will want to get off the call, will want to avoid or distract yourself or jump off. Sometimes it's that when we're in that resistance and we feel and we're hitting up against it and we feel that edge, it's uncomfortable. But it's that edge. If you just stay there a little bit longer, that edge moves because you've shifted it. And now you're at the next layer. And if you stay there a little bit longer, then that edge moves or it transmutes. And then you get the next layer. Sometimes we can heal 30 layers in an instant. But what it requires is your awareness, your willingness, your acceptance, accepting what is, really making peace with what is, even if you want it to change. Because if you judge what is, or if you judge your resistance, then you're just feeding the fear and you're feeding the discordant energy. You're adding to it, not healing it. So if everything is energy, your thoughts are energy, and your resistance, even your resistance is energy. If you can approach it from that perspective, then you can soften. And in some ways, it simplifies it. Because the mind is always trying to especially the left brain, it's trying to figure out the story, why you feel the way you feel, what's happening. Well, it must have been from when I was a child and this and that. Sometimes we need those connections more so than not. We do not now. We don't need that so much anymore. We don't need that level of understanding at the level of the mind. We don't need to know everything. My intention is always, if there's something I need to know, let it be brought to my heart to be understood. And whatever message my mind needs to come along for the ride, let my mind receive the information it needs to let go, to lean in, to trust. There's a lot of information out there right now. There's a lot of really good, aligned, harmonized, balanced, energetic information out there right now. But there's way more unbalanced than ever before. And there's a lot of people saying the right things, but the energy behind what they're delivering is not clean. It's not clear. It's not pure. It's unbalanced. And that's not a judgment. That's an observation. And sometimes you'll be guided toward those people because there's some lesson you need to learn. There's something you need to gain from that experience. But more so than not now, you're going to start to feel when something feels off, when something feels discordant to you. And your ability to discern between what feels discordant, meaning there's something from the outside that you're not meant to be hearing or listening to or experiencing or engaging with. That can be resistance, pointing you to not that direction. That's your heart saying not that direction. And then there's a level of discernment that comes in when you're listening to something and it's really bumping up against your leftovers in a purposeful way, in a way that would actually serve you. It would allow you to process and heal that. But we judge it and we walk away, we run away, or we turn it off. Sometimes you're meant to stay and lean in and allow the resistance to bump up against what you need to see, reveal, and heal. Other times it's your heart saying, close that door, turn that off, walk away. And your ability to discern between those two levels of resistance or experiences of resistance is essential right now. If you're going to have one practice, do one thing, practice one thing, it's discernment. When you can discern what your heart is really truly guiding you toward or away from, then everything becomes more efficient. Your ability to heal becomes more efficient. You don't waste your time listening or doing things that aren't guided. You actually save a lot of time. And for me, when I really got this level of discernment, I saved a huge amount of money. I used to spend so much money on training and workshops and traveling to train with different people. And when I realized that there was this subtle level of discernment that I had to really get in touch with, because there was an artificial feel good. An artificial feels like a heart yes, but it wasn't true. Once I got that, then I saved a lot of time, energy, and money because I wasn't chasing something. I was guided from within, not seeking on the outside or looking and searching and yearning. It's the need was met from here in the heart space first. The light was shone here first. And then I took action and then I moved. So in the moments where you're practicing discernment, you can ask, is this a true heart yes? Is this a truly guided path for me? Is my heart really truly guiding me in this direction? Or is my head disguising itself as guidance? Or is my ego disguising itself as guidance? To discern between true heart yes is essential. If some of you are wanting to dive deeper into that, the course on my website, heartledliving.com, your Evolving Intuition course would be a good one to dive into. But practice it. Practice it when you can. Practice it in the way, in the moments, in the small moments. And start with little things that don't really matter, that you're not so emotionally or mentally invested in. Something simple as, do I put salt on this meal or not? Yes or no? Practice on those things, that level of discernment where you're not invested in what the answer is. And if you are really invested in what the answer is, give yourself permission to hear the guidance from your heart, but give yourself permission to follow or not to follow. Because if the mind is worried or afraid or concerned, and you give it an out like that, it allows you to hear the guidance without feeling like the resistance is stronger and it blocks the guidance, the true guidance. So these are some tangible ways. So let me guide you into a little meditation, and then we'll do some intuitive readings after. I'll guide you into a meditation into your heart space for discernment. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. If you're not already resting with your eyes closed, you can soften your eyelids. And as you're breathing, see if you can invite the breath to deepen. So we might need to take a longer exhale, creating space for a deeper breath in. And let's just tune into the energy that's present right here and now. As soon as June 1st hit, and I didn't realize it was June 1st, but I woke up and I felt different. There was a different energy in the field. I want you to invite that new energy. It's a lighter energy, but it's a very powerful energy that can bring up stuff, shine light on stuff. And it's meant to help with our discernment. It's meant to help with our heart consciousness, expanding more and more into the heart, shifting more and more out of the head. And for some of you, if you're in the left brain loop or you're in the left brain, just shift over to the right side of your brain. That's more the present moment side. And then down into your heart space in the center of your chest. And take some deep breaths, some centering breaths in the middle of the chest, in your heart center. And you might even find placing your right hand on your chest. So your right palm is in the center of your chest and your fingers are touching to the left of your chest where your physical heart would be. So we're connecting the physical heart with the heart center, connecting your awareness, intentionally connecting with the heart center, which is your energy center of the heart, and your physical heart on the left. Most people, 99% of people, it's on the left side of the chest. And the physical heart has sensory neurites, neurons that are similar to the neurons in the brain. And the physical heart can provide information that might come in the form of a thought. You might perceive it as a thought, but it's guidance. It's insight. It's directions. Information that is supporting you in this moment. So ask your heart, in this moment, what do I need to know? And allow the first thing that pops in. I wonder what I need to know. And other words you could use is dear heart and soul. What do I need to see or know in this moment? And then imagine looking through the lens of the heart space. Or setting an intention to allow the information to come through the heart. Not everybody has the visual, so don't get caught up in the whole idea that you have to see through the heart, physical seeing through a vision or image. Seeing, sensing, knowing, experiencing, feeling. It can come in many different ways. So, dear heart and soul, what do I need to know or reveal to heal within my body? What does my body need from me? I can feel some of you in your head trying to look for the answers. So surrender everything you think you know and everything you think you don't know. Shift out of the head and be wildly curious about what the heart has to offer. What information, what insight, what guidance will my heart offer me regarding my body? In this moment, I'm open to hear, to feel, to experience. I'm listening. Generally, when you feel into the heart space and you receive guidance from the heart, it drops in. Sometimes it drops in, it plops in, it pops in. It's like a clear answer, a clear insight. And then the mind will often take it and run with it, or make up a story about it, or figure it out, or try and sort it out. Stay with the heart. I wonder what else my heart has to say. I wonder what guidance will come through my heart now. And sometimes the guidance is quiet stillness, silence, Sometimes the answer is no answer. Sometimes the action is no action. Sometimes the guidance is just shh. Silence. Now let's ask our heart, dear heart and soul, what does a heart, a true, authentic heart, yes, feel like? And be wildly curious and deeply open to experience a true, authentic heart, yes. Notice how that feels in the body, in the energy field, emotionally. Just notice how it feels all around, within and around you. True, authentic heart, yes. Now, dear heart and soul, show me the experience, provide the experience of a true, authentic heart no. A clear no as directed by the heart. What would that feel like? Experience be in my body, my heart, my mind, in my entire being. What would that feel like? Just make note of how this feels in contrast to the heart yes. You might feel a contraction, it might feel heavier, it might feel obvious, it might feel subtle. Now let's shift back, dear heart and soul. Please provide the experience of a true, authentic heart yes within and around me. Let it be obvious. Let me experience it without resistance. As you take some more deep breaths, let that feeling expand into each cell and all the spaces in between. Imagine you could embody the heart yes, the energy of yes, and the energy of your divinity, your guidance. Imagine you could bring in the heart yes to healing, the heart yes to revealing to heal what you need to feel in the body, experience, witness, honor, transmute, shift, and process. Imagine it was easy. You could start to stir the energy into that central channel, that beautiful channel of light running up and down through the body to the top of your energy field and the bottom of your energy field. Stirring any discordant energy in, any resistance energy, bring it into the central channel and ask If there's anything you need to know, let it be brought to your heart to be understood, and let any level of understanding be provided at the level of the mind only if it's necessary. And then trust. Trust what you really, truly need will be revealed, will be provided. Soften, opening up to receive, to allow, to experience. For some of you, there may be tears that need to be expressed. For some of you, some anger needs to be released in the body. So you might find yourself contracting, tensing everything up, and then releasing it with a big breath out. For some of you, there may be a lot of noise, and for others, there may be just a quiet stillness. There's no right or wrong. And you could move through this experience, this healing journey again and again, and have a different experience each time. Accepting what is, honoring what is, welcoming all that is and all that is ready to be healed. And honoring anything that remains, any resistance that remains, any discordant energy that remains, any aspects of you that are not quite ready to let go. Embrace them anyways. It's okay. I accept you. Imagine loving and accepting all aspects of yourself. Meeting those tender parts of you, those beautiful wounds. Meeting them with love and patience, compassion and empathy. Take a deep breath, the deepest breath you can experience, and then exhale the longest breath out you can allow. And then even a deeper breath in because you've created more space. Without forcing the breath, you're inviting it to deepen and lengthen. Letting go, exhaling. Placing your hands, palms up on your lap, and being wide open to receive. Whatever I need, I'm open to receive it now. I receive it with gratitude and appreciation. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. And just knowing that this healing continues, you've activated it within you. It can continue as needed for as long as it's needed. And it can evolve and shift in the next moment to exactly what you need. You are a powerful healer. We all have the capacity to heal ourselves. Some of us work on healing for the planet and others, but every single one of us has the capacity to heal self. And in fact, even those that heal the planet or offer healing for others in the world, healing self is top priority. Because when you're more a pure container, when you can come from a place of purity, without your own filters, without your own fear and resistance. And sometimes you can place that aside. Often the practice is to place it aside when you work with others. But imagine being that way all the time, being a clear channel. Very little fear, very little leftovers, if any. That's the direction we're heading. If you hold steady and stay the course, you will eventually come to a space where the majority of your healing has been done. And in some cases, we can have that holy instant, that divine remembrance where everything falls away. So you're wide open to anything, attached to nothing, and allowing, leaning in, receiving, opening more, and opening even wider to allow what you need to receive to be received with divine timing. And you can set an intention now to make this healing activation evergreen within your energy field, within your central channel. This is your unique channel for healing. As you take some more deep breaths, you can stay with that inward awareness, that inward intention, or you may be guided to bring your awareness back to your physical surroundings and open your eyes. And just notice how you feel. And I'm going to invite some of you, if you feel inspired, to share how you're feeling, 1 or 2 words that capture how you're feeling in the chat. So we can witness and celebrate each other's shifts. So Linda's calm and peaceful. I could feel that. There was this real quiet stillness for me happening within and around. And at the same time, I could feel all of this energy swirling and moving and shifting and contracting and expanding for the collective and for a lot of you. Kim, expanded and open. Beautiful. That's good. All right, so let's shift into some intuitive healings. Just reading more. Lisa, my heart space is so expanded. I received very clear visuals from my heart and of the heart. Yes, beautiful. Lots of energy moving. Beautiful. Marian, I felt warm, calm, grounding, earthing feeling inside the swirls around it. Beautiful. Ariane, grateful for another beautiful and powerful guided experience, feeling clear, expanded, and calm. Lovely. Love that. Okay, so for the intuitive readings, if you want to share in the chat, and if you can be as concise and clear in the shortest amount of time as possible what you would like me to tune into, then I can tune into that. I will kind of go through and just see what what ones pop out, intuitively pop out, because often when I'm doing these group intuitive readings, there's usually a message for more than one person. If someone's guided to ask a question or guided to seek some intuitive readings or information, that is usually meant for more than one person. So as I'm sharing the information, anything that resonates or hits as true for you or kind of hits a pang somewhere inside of you, that's discernment. That's your intuition going, hey, pay attention to that. You need to know that, or you need to integrate that, or take that in, or explore that more. So be open to discerning as we go through. Teresa is like, gosh, I fell asleep. I don't know what happened. That's okay. Sometimes we're meant to fall asleep and we receive on more of a subconscious level. Other times we might fall asleep as a way of avoiding. So it's again discerning. It's not one way is right or wrong. It's just discerning in that moment. When I fell asleep this time, was that resistance to hear what I meant to hear, or was that my body's way of saying you can rest your mind and the energy will be received in the way that it needs to, and the understanding will come in and be stored at a level that you don't need to hear it with the physical mind. That's a possibility too. So practicing that discernment. Sarah, is there anything to be cleared about my relationship with, just hold on, money? Am I projecting childhood programming onto money? We all tend to have projected childhood programming onto money. It's something that it's really common. So even in this moment, you could call back. This is part of what happens with, I am going to be doing a money workshop. It might be at the end of June or it might be in July, but there is a level of discernment around money that I'm really feeling a lot of people, and shifting our energetic frequency relationship with money, because our energetic relationship with money is changed and money itself is changing. So with this, what I'm hearing right now is just call back all your projections. Like all of you, I call back all my projections around money. Anywhere that I projected it outward, I call it all back within myself, because as long as it's out there, you can't heal it. As long as it's out there as the problem, or as long as it's part of the programming when you're a child, or part of what your mom did or your parents did or what you learned from them, as long as you put it out there, you can't heal it. It's out of your reach. So we call it all back. I call all aspects of my money blocks, my money programming, my money worries, my fears, my resistance, my discord and alignment with money. I call it all back without exception. I want to receive it all back so that I can heal it, so that I can reveal to heal, so that I can have access to and know and experience what I meant to, so that I can shift my relationship with money fully, wholly, and completely. And when you call it back, sometimes it feels a little crowded or heavy all of a sudden, because all that energy that was projected outward is coming back. So you can put it in a container. I hold this energy in a container and I ask for my heart to reveal what I need to know, understand, or experience in order to heal my relationship to money. That's the biggest piece I'm getting for you, Sarah. And that was for like a lot of you too. I was feeling that as well. The abundance. Yeah, the abundance one is coming in. I'm gonna pause on answering the abundance and financial ones, because I really feel that there's that the workshop that I'm gonna do is gonna help a lot of people. Share hips. Let me tune into your hips. Your left hip feels very heavy. The right hip feels kind of pulled in a different direction, but the left hip feels like there's this weight in it. And I feel like there's a weighing down of the divine feminine energy within you. It's like there's this fear around the divine feminine energy. And I can feel it like a contraction and then a pulling down. And this I'm feeling it, some other people's too. I'm feeling it around the tailbone and the left hip for some of you as well. But it's mostly on that left side from the tailbone over for a lot of you. So even it with the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy, it's not about male and female. It's about energy. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine energy. It's more of a polarity, but we see it in the world as a duality, which is men and women. But polarity is more like a positive and negatively charged energy. And masculine and feminine energy is actually in all of us. Doesn't matter what gender we are. And in nature and in more of a harmonized ratio of feminine to masculine is actually 8 feminine to 6 masculine. So if you tune into the left hip, share and anybody else, and you make a conscious choice. So even though I'm afraid, or parts of me may be afraid or resisting my divine feminine energy, I'm willing to unleash and unlock it a little bit, or to the degree that I'm capable of, or that I feel comfortable with, to allow some of that energy to expand. And then I'm just seeing a little bit of reining in, like reining back the masculine energy a little bit, not in a way of like trapping it or containing it, but kind of bringing it so that it's not so dominant and that it can kind of rest and settle a little bit. And then allowing that divine feminine energy to rise and there we go, rise and expand a little bit more. There is some physical elements in the body that are still holding share, but that's going to help you release. And you might end up doing the psoas release or some other structural work or some osteopath work around the hip to help you, but even some yoga to help release. But it's more that energy that needs to be released first. Okay. Marion, low back. Just what I was just talking about is actually connected to yours as well, and the low back, left hip. So your left hip is actually a bit, mm, quite a bit wound up and twisted. There's the fascia, but also the neurovascular system's really holding in that area, in that space. So it's energetic first, if you can release the energetic and emotional stuff first, and then lean into the divine feminine and then kind of unravel the hip from there. You may need some help unraveling the hip, so there may be a practitioner, someone that you're guided to see that can help you unravel some of the hip. Okay, Claire, inflammation in the colon. There's a couple different things that the inflammation is like, there's almost overall inflammation in your body, is what I'm getting. It's like your whole body is inflamed. It almost needs a bit of a reset. So you may end up doing like some form of a more food wise, a reset around food. So whether you do a short fast or whether you do more of a elemental diet for a couple days, meaning you just have more like broth or protein shakes or something to kind of just minimal ingredients for a day or two, or fasting is it can help reset some of that overall inflammation in the body. When I tune into the colon specifically, there is some food elements, but there's also some microbiome elements that are there that are actually out of balance. So a bit of a dysbiosis, meaning the levels of microbiome are off. Some of the unhealthy microbiome is high and some of the healthy is low. So it's restoring the microbiome will help with the inflammation. Energetically and emotionally, there is some anger in your colon as well. So you'll want to tune into that. Lisa, I'm feeling in a transition. Where should I focus my energy? I'm actually getting pointed to last week's Living Oneness Gathering on like sitting in the limbo. There's actually purpose in you sitting in that transition, but really deeply going into the limbo or the feeling of in between. And there's not the old anymore, or there's the old there, but you haven't maybe quite let go of it, but the new hasn't revealed itself yet. I feel like you need to really sit deeply in that and make peace with it before the new will come in and before you actually see where you're meant to focus your energy. So where would you focus your energy? In the limbo, in the in between, in the pause or pregnant pause of the transition. And if you need more information on that, you can listen to last week's, re-listen and go through that. Mary, bone health, underlying cause of osteoporosis. I can't say this is what's happening because I don't do diagnosis, but when I read your words, the very first thing I get pointed to is what's happening in your microbiome, what's happening in your gut, your digestion. I don't feel like your body is actually absorbing the nutrients the way they need to. So let's say you take calcium and the body doesn't actually digest the calcium, it doesn't come into the cells or into the body, into the bones. So there's a block there between what you're eating and ingesting and the digestion of it and the assimilation of it, meaning it getting into the cells. There's a block there. Sometimes that can be toxins, an overload of toxins in the body, mercury, glyphosate, all those kinds of things can actually block, but it can also be a microbiome balancing thing that needs to be addressed. But I keep being pointed to your gut. So use your intuition and you might be guided to a practitioner that can help you organize what's happening in your gut and perhaps support you with the osteoporosis that way. So what time is it? I'm going to do two more here. Amy, jaw. So they tune into your jaw, Amy. There's a shift in the jaw, like a torque, but it's not the actual jaw that's causing the torque. It's your sphenoid bone, which is in the face, behind the eyes and temple and sinuses. So it's like a butterfly bone that sits like this if you're watching the video. The sphenoid bone needs to be shifted. It's tweaked and twisted a little bit, which is causing a twist. I can also feel the neurovascular system in the jaw, but also in the neck that's leading into, as a result, it's kind of responding to that as well. The sphenoid bone also feels connected to your sacrum. So the two bones are actually twisted and torqued and they're feeding each other. So if you resolve one without resolving the other, you will find that you're not going to get the relief you need. Energetically, that can be done through different practitioners. Sometimes I definitely do energetic bone alignment in the work that I do one-on-one. But an osteopath would be good to support with that, or a craniosacral practitioner would be able to help with that as well. And then you'll have to address the neurovascular release afterwards. But I feel like start with the bones and that will help. Again, it's sacrum and sphenoid, not direct at the jaw. The jaw is kind of in between taking the brunt. And there's other parts of your body are taking the brunt of that too, but I know that's what you're pointing is the jaw. And there is some emotional stuff on the right side of the jaw too, related to some conversation you're meant to have, but you've been putting it off, let's say. So having the courage to step into that conversation and gathering that divine courage to just go ahead and do that. All right. So take a moment, take a breath, and just receive everything that you're meant to receive. Let it be placed in your field where it's meant to be placed. This is your gifts. Everybody's receiving the energy and their unique gift and their unique expression of the energy is coming into your field. Receive it, unravel it, unpack it, unwrap it with gratitude, with appreciation. Anything that's not for you, anything that didn't resonate or is not meant for you, let it be water off a duck's back. Let it just wash away. Or some stuff might be placed kind of in a bit of a vault or a storage for access later. Some stuff we can let go. Some stuff we're like, there's something in that, but timing may be a little bit off. So you can place it in a space where it can be held until it's needed or purposeful. And as you take some more deep breaths, just find yourself landing and rooted, feeling that grounding connection between Mother Earth, the ground beneath you. Imagine your feet on the earth. Imagine your feet in the sand, whatever visual helps you. Remember that we're connecting and grounding into the new earth energies. A lot of people are being pulled, tempted by the old energies. They're still visible, they're still experienced. But on this new timeline, you want to really stay focused. There we go, on the new earth energies. There you go, that's it. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all coming and sharing this space with us and contributing, just recognizing that your presence is appreciated and it has an impact not only within this community, but beyond this community as well. So I thank you all. I appreciate you. I honor you. I see you. And until next time, love and blessings.